The United States military's primary mission is to ensure the safety of its pricey, multi-million-dollar aircraft. It is imperative that the length of time the airplanes spend exposed to the elements be cut down as much as is practically possible so that vital components can be preserved and the amount of wear and tear can be minimized. This is the basic idea underlying the airplane hangar, which is a phrase that can be used to refer to any facility or structure that is built to house an aircraft. These buildings can be created out of a diverse assortment of materials, and they can either be temporary or permanent in nature. All that really counts is that priceless aircrafts are shielded from the elements, sand, and direct sunlight by these structures. Because of the considerable area that they provide, hangars play an important part in the process of maintaining airplanes. In a hangar, even the largest aircraft parts can be disassembled, repaired, and replaced. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, we'll discover what the US Air Force does to fit their large aircraft that can't fit in a hangar. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. In the case of enormous cargo airplanes like the C-17 Globemaster, the hangar must be sufficient to hold not just the aircraft, but also the components required for routine maintenance and repairs. The Globemaster is a vital component of the United States Air Force. Initially introduced in 1995, it has already demonstrated its importance as a military transport vehicle in numerous conflicts and humanitarian endeavors. The plane is enormous, measuring 174 feet in length and 169 feet in wingspan. Because of this, it can be stored only in the largest and most spacious hangars. Once inside, ground staff will undertake various cleaning and maintenance tasks. Corrosion prevention is one of the most crucial activities. At least once every 6 months, this entails washing and scouring all exposed sections of the aircraft. The objective is to remove debris, dust, oil, grease, salt, and other foreign substances that could corrode and degrade the structure or systems of the aircraft. The C-17's principal function is to transport freight and troops from one location to another. For this reason, it has a cargo bay measuring 88 feet by 18 feet. It can accommodate 102 paratroopers, 134 personnel, or numerous armored strike vehicles. It can transport around 170,000 pounds of cargo at speeds of up to 520 miles per hour. Despite its diminutive size, the C-17 possesses extraordinary capabilities. It can take off and land on runways as short as 3,000 feet. The engine's thrust reversers are a further novel feature. When operating from an unpaved airstrip, these reduce the risk of foreign object damage by directing exhaust air upward and forward. In addition, the aircraft holds over 20 world records, including those for the payload to altitude and short takeoff and landing. The C-17 is not the most advanced aircraft in the arsenal of the United States Air Force. However, the B-2 Spirit is filled with cutting-edge design, characteristics, and aeronautics. The B-2, sometimes known as the stealth bomber, is among the most recognizable aircrafts in the world, with a wingspan of 172 feet. It also requires a massive storage hangar to shield its radar-absorbent covering from continual sunshine. Despite its extra-wide wingspan, the B-2's length and height are just 69 and 17 feet, respectively. This is one of the reasons it's so difficult to detect. Its low profile. The B-2 is a formidable aircraft with a maximum speed of 630 miles per hour and the capacity to carry up to 40,000 pounds of ordnance. As a result, the B-2 spends the majority of its time inside to safeguard its key stealth component, a special radar-absorbing coating. It requires a big ground crew team to prepare the B-2 Spirit for combat, even if it's just for a training exercise. Different units will compete in a variety of bomber and intercontinental ballistic missile operations and maintenance testing during the year 2020. The teams with the quickest loading speeds are awarded prizes at the conclusion of the competition. Here, ground crews load conventional munitions into B-2 bombers using a variety of vehicles and equipment. Despite the competition's emphasis on speed, these weapons must be handled with the utmost care and delicacy, just like the aircraft itself. The B-2 really has one of the most comprehensive maintenance procedures of any military aircraft. To remain invisible, the jets must be entirely reconditioned every 7 years, a procedure that costs more than $60 million. Technicians are charged even during routine maintenance with crawling into vents, engine intakes, and bays to inspect components for signs of damage and wear. Only 21 B-2 stealth bombers have been produced so far. This is mostly attributable to the building and operation expenditures of the aircraft, as well as a renewed emphasis on ballistic missiles as opposed to conventional aircraft-based bombardment. Nonetheless, the B-2 has consistently demonstrated its combat prowess in Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya. On the ground, hangars are often spacious. These hangar bays on US aircraft carriers are entirely another tale. Here, flight crews and maintenance employees must operate in exceedingly confined areas. Typically, the hangar bay is placed approximately 2 decks below the flight deck. The typical space is 685 feet long, 25 feet tall, and 110 feet wide. This section is around 2/3 the size of the entire vessel and can accommodate up to 60 aircraft, spare parts, fuel tanks, and jet engine testing sections. In the event of an emergency, hangar bays are split into 4 zones by sliding blast doors to prevent the spread of fire. Additionally, there are elevators on the side of each bay, allowing aircraft to be transferred from the bay to the flight deck. The majority of these elevators are capable of simultaneously transporting 2 74,000-pound fighter jets. However, transporting these airplanes is a tedious and steady process. Even the tiniest error could result in the destruction of equipment worth millions of dollars. The largest aircraft hangar bay cannot accommodate all aircraft carriers, aircraft, and other vehicles. Therefore, there are nearly always multiple aircrafts parked on the flight deck, often near the flanks of the aircraft carrier. Instead, these aircrafts are susceptible to corrosion from saltwater and other elements. Their presence guarantees that the carrier and its crew will always be able to respond swiftly and effectively to threats. Regardless of where an aircraft is located, its utility is ultimately determined by how rapidly it can get altitude. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section down below. I hope that you found this video interesting, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more of the latest updates, and until then, stay tuned.